Hi, it's Dawn from Dawn's Dirt. Dirt can mean gardening, dirt can mean farming, dirt can mean agriculture, dirt can mean politics, dirt can mean religion, dirt can mean anything I want it to mean because this is my show, Dawn's Dirt. So welcome here today. I'm talk today about a little bit of a heavy topic. The topic is, what are you going to do if shit hits the fan? I have thought over and over and over again, what am I going to do if things go crazy in the world and I have to feed my family? So that's what we're going to dive into today. Heavy topic. I'm going to give you my honest, brutal thoughts and opinions on it, and they might not even be that popular. So that's the stage for today's episode. So thanks for tuning in. So I want to start off by sharing a little story. When COVID hit, I had people coming to my booth at the farmer's market. I had a lot of vegetables and I had a lot of eggs and chickens and all that. I had a lot of food, and I had people coming up to my booth who were genuinely afraid. What happens if the grocery store shuts down? They were afraid, where are they going to get their food? They were also afraid to go into grocery stores right at the beginning of COVID. And to be brutally honest, I kind of capitalized on that fear a bit. I started a food box program online, jumped into it. I was selling thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars every week to consumers to buy my food box. And so they didn't have to go into the grocery store. And it worked quite well for my business and for my farm. But as COVID drug on, people that were unvaccinated actually started to get more and more afraid of, would they even be allowed to go into a grocery store? They weren't allowed to go into a restaurant. So would they be allowed to go into a grocery store? Would they be allowed to buy and sell? And we hear our governments right now talking about World War III, and that's a little scary. And they're talking about digital IDs. And what is going to happen when you choose not to comply? I mean, I'm a Christian girl, so there might be the mark of the beast one day, and I won't take it. And what will I feed my family? These are very real fears that I have. And when I moved off my farm, when I sold my farm, my biggest fear moving off my farm was, what will I feed my children in an emergency? In the case that, society collapses, what will I feed my kids? And I was looking at properties in town to purchase. And every time I went and looked at a property, I didn't care about how many bedrooms it had. I didn't care about, what the kitchen looked like. I didn't care about what the flooring looked like or the fixtures. I cared about, how big was that backyard and where can I hide my chickens? Those two things were most important to me in the event of, if shit hits the fan, what am I going to feed my family? And I'm responsible for that. I'm responsible for my children, to feed my kids, not society, not the grocery store. It's me. I'm responsible. So that's why I'm doing this episode today, because are you taking responsibility for your own family in the event of shit hitting the fan? I can tell you this. If I had $1 for every time someone said to me, "Oh, Dawn, I'm not worried, I'm just going to come to your house," I'd be a freaking millionaire. I would have so many people coming to my house thinking that I'm going to feed them, and I can't. When I had my farm, I could. I told people, come to my farm, I'll feed you, we'll figure it out. I have less than 1 acre of land right now. I'm making $30,000 off of it. I can teach you how to do that too, but I have enough for my family, my children, maybe a couple of my close friends and family, but that's it. So don't come to my farm. Don't come to me in the case of an emergency and think that I'm going to feed you. How I can help you is, I can help you right now to prepare. Listen to my podcasts, follow my content, and sign up for my programs. I can teach you how to garden. I can teach you how to do farm to table sales. I can teach you about chickens. I can teach you even how to find a farmer and support them. Don't come to my house. I can't do it for you. I can do it for you now. I can't do it for you then. Be prepared for yourself. I can't do it for you. Sometimes I feel like the little boy that cried wolf. I have been calling out our food system for over 10 years now. I have been saying, in the name of health and safety, bureaucracy, government, climate change, grocery store rhetoric, all of the above, that at some point our food system is going to be a dictatorship. And if you don't want to be in that dictatorship, you're going to have to take steps to be outside of that dictatorship. And that starts now. That doesn't start when the dictatorship starts, because you're screwed then. Point blank, you're screwed then. So take steps now. I feel like boy who cried wolf, but I'm not wrong. We need to be learning these lessons now. I've been to Cuba many, many times. Cuba is a communist country. I love Cuba. I love the people of Cuba. I love the black market in Cuba. That's where I've learned how to do a lot of things, is in Cuba. They are all small business owners. They are all bartering and trading and doing things, around the system, because their system doesn't work. Yes, they get their little bag of rice and their little bag of beans and their little piece of pork once a month, but it doesn't feed them. It doesn't, sustain them for the month. It gives them a little bit just to stay less hungry, not fully not hungry. And so that's the thing. I've learned from all of these different situations and all of these different places in life, and I'm trying to apply these things, and I'm trying to be proactive, not reactive, to when shit hits the fan. And hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully shit doesn't hit the fan. Hopefully I'm wrong. Please mark my words now. I hope I'm wrong. But in the event that I'm not wrong, I have food. I'm teaching lots of people about food, where to go, how to get it, how to grow it, do all these things. It's almost like, and I'm not a prophetess, please, I'm not. I'm just being 10 steps ahead in being proactive, not reactive. That's all. So here's the thing. People always think that they can just figure it out later. I can figure it out later. Oh, I bought from that farm one time, so that's going to be my plan. I had that feeling over COVID that people really supported me during COVID. The year 2020 on my farm, boom, I sold so much. I made so much money. I had so many customers, and I thought, wow. And so what happened, and this actually ironically didn't just happen to me, it happened to a lot of small businesses, and we kind of made a mistake. 2020 was such a good year that people ramped up and geared up for 2021. And I'll tell you what happened in 2021. People went back to their old habits. In 2021, 2022, and 2023, people went back to their old shopping habits. They just went back to the good old grocery store. The good old grocery store is always there. I see people, even freedom people, going online. I see people, freedom people, going online and saying, oh, I just went to the grocery store. I just went to the grocery store. I just went to the grocery store. If you actually are a freedom person, you're going to be taking steps now for just in case, to be prepared. If not, you're not really a freedom person. You're a lot of lip service, which maybe this is going to rub some people the wrong way. You're a lot of lip service, but you're no action. And in the event that something goes sideways, you're not going to eat. People just assumed that I would be there. And when I had my farm, I honestly thought to myself, what would I do if the grocery store shut down and I had more people coming to me than I had food to give them or sell them or barter with them or trade with them or provide to them? That was a real thought of mine, because it wasn't out of the realm of possibility. And I thought to myself, I've got a pretty good facial recognition memory. I'm kind of creepy with faces. I'm terrible with names. If you tell me your name 15 times, I'm not going to remember it. But if I've met you once or twice at a farmer's market and we've had a great conversation, I will remember you. And I knew in my head that I would provide for the ones that supported me right through. And that's how I was going to define who will I support and who will I not. And I'm a little like that now. I'm on a much smaller scale, but my closest friends and my closest family, my mother, that's who I'll feed. My children, my ex-husband. I'll even feed my ex-husband. But I can't feed much more than that. And so these are very real possibilities and real concerns if shit hits the fan. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hey friends, on Dawn's Dirt, we get real about growing food, farming, homesteading, living free, and digging into the stuff that actually matters. If you're loving the dirt we're dishing out, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow on your favorite social media platforms. That's how we keep growing this community of badass, soil-covered, chicken-loving, freedom-chasing humans. Like and subscribe to me on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you name it. Come be part of the movement. So farmers have actually planned for this, or a lot of farmers have. Actually, a lot of farmers even buy their food at a grocery store. They've got big grain farms. They've got grain, so they could make bread. They could ground up their wheat and make bread. But that's probably almost all they have. Some grow a lot of farmers grow gardens, and some have beef. So farmers are probably going to be okay, but even they may not have enough for a lot of people. And so even your farmer down the road may or may not be a help to you. Farmers have planned these things out. They know what they have in their pantries. They know what they have in their fields. They know where their cows are. They know, they've got their food system figured out. And they're more than likely not going to be able to share or wanting to share with the general population either. So the point to all of this, if you've waited until the shelves are bare, you've waited too long. So how are you going to be prepared now? That's the question. How are you going to get prepared now? So the first way you're going to get prepared now is you're going to start a garden. You are going to plan and have seeds ready so that if you have to grow a garden, you can. And you can start practicing how to grow a garden now because it's not that simple and easy. And if you need help to grow a garden, that's where Dawn's Dirt comes in. I've grown many gardens. I've grown lots of vegetables. I have helped lots of clients, and I can get you growing food so that you're prepared in your own backyard. Even if you live in a big city, in a townhouse, even if you have a little bit of a backyard, you can grow a lot of food. You just got to do it. You just got to start. And the time to start is not later on when shit hits the fan. The time to start is now. So be prepared for summer and spring 2026 and grow a freaking garden. Take your food sovereignty into your own hands. Stop relying on the grocery store. Start building a community. Start growing a garden. I can help you. That's what I do. I can help you now by doing that. Grow microgreens. This fall in November, I'm going to do a quick little microgreens class. I'm going to do a quick little microgreens course, and I'm going to teach people how to grow microgreens in their freaking basement. It could be minus 30 outside, and you can have microgreens. You can have salad. You can have pea shoots. You can add them to your stir fries. You can add them to your salads, and you can grow food in your space right now. You need a corner of your living room or of your bedroom, of your whatever space you're in. You can grow food now. You don't have to wait for next summer. You don't have to wait for next spring. You can be prepared now, not later, now. So, look for that. If you live in a town or a city, if they allow you to have chickens, get some chickens. Put a few chickens in your backyard, feed them your scraps. It's a rotating system. I think it's Joel Salatin. He says, man, if every household had a garden and a few chickens, we would not have hungry people. So that is what I'm here to say. Get a few chickens, have a backyard, grow a garden, and you're not going to go hungry. If anything, you're going to have food to share with your friends and neighbors, because that is how we, the people, are going to be prepared if shit hits the fan. If we do it ourselves, we have the power. I keep saying this over and over. Little boy that cried wolf. We, the people, have the power to take back our control, to change our food system. Even if your town doesn't allow chickens in the backyard, beg for forgiveness rather than ask for permission. That's how I roll sometimes, I have a lot of chickens in the space I have, and I don't know. So far, no one has said anything, and it's been good for me. Beg for forgiveness rather than ask for permission, because that's what they do in Cuba. They just go outside of the system, even when it comes to raw dairy. I don't actually think it should be legalized, because if we legalize raw dairy, the government hands are going to get into it. The government bureaucracy is going to get into it. It's going to be regulated, and it's going to, wreck it for the people. So we need more people on a very, very small scale, flying under the radar, doing raw dairy, and bartering, trading, selling, whatever to the people. In Canada, raw dairy is illegal, but just do it on a small scale. Yeah, I'm not selling raw dairy. That's illegal, but I do have one goat for my family. So, I'll be all right for milk. I'll be all right for meat. Got chickens. Do this for yourself. I can't help you. I can help you now. I can teach you, but I can't help you after the fact. If you need digital ID to get onto the internet, boom, we're done. So take advantage of this now. Don't wait. Don't wait because I can't feed you then. I can't help you then. You're going to be fucked then. Pardon that so blank, but that's just the way it is. What else can you do now to be prepared? You're going to want to go to your local farmers markets. Now, you have to be careful with farmers markets because a lot of people are buying and selling a lot of shit. Well, that's going to stop too if the world goes sideways. So make sure you're going to the farmers market and make sure that this is most important, that you are buying directly from the farmer, that they are actually growing, raising, producing, feeding, that they actually have the animals, that they actually have the vegetables, that they actually are the farmer. Because if shit hits the fan, the farmer will have food. The middle guy will not have the food. So make sure that you are buying from the farmer and make sure that you are buying from that farmer now. If you're buying from the farmer now, the farmer is going to remember you later on. You are helping the farmer now. The farmer will help you later. If you are not helping the farmer now, the farmer may not help you later. It's pretty simple, people. So make sure that you are buying from a farmer. Make sure that you're building the community and the relationships now. That's imperative. Yeah, I don't know how to make it any plainer, but these are things that I lay awake at night and I think about. And I was talking to a girlfriend last night because I was really quite emotional yesterday about, I feel guilty. I feel guilty that I don't have my big farm anymore. I feel guilty that I can't feed more people. I feel that's what hurts my heart. I love people more than I love anything. And that's what makes me sad, is that I can't help more people. People drive me. Food drives me. I worry for society and food and people. That's why I'm doing this. Never mind the money. I do need a couple of pennies in my pocket for coaching, but I don't do this for that. I do this for people. I help people because I love people. And yeah, I just want to spread that love of people to others. I want to teach people how to build communities where they're at. I've said it over and over. If you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. But if you teach a man a fish, he eats for a lifetime. So that's where it's at. Let's build more fishing ponds. So by building a local community and a local network and doing this now, you will be prepared. It's just that simple. And the community is how we are going to feed one another if shit hits the fan. Community, friends, and neighbors are the most important part in a crisis. And like I said, I was talking to this friend last night and she was saying, Dawn, maybe this is what society needs. She kind of turned the perspective and I was like, oh, oof, that's deep. She said, maybe we need a crisis. Maybe we need something to really go sideways on us so that we'll pull back into community. Back in the, early 1900s, 1800s, 1700s, you knew your community. You worked with one another. You knew your friends and neighbors. There was a butcher, baker, and candlestick maker. So whereas now we're so disconnected from everybody. We don't even sometimes know our neighbors on the either side of our house. Are they an ally or are they a threat? We don't even know because we don't talk to them. So we can take steps to build community now, to build relationships now, to grow and, give away your free zucchini that you grew too much of. That's where it's at now. This is things that we can be doing now. Because in a crisis, your community is going to matter. Who you surround yourself with is going to be of the utmost importance in a crisis. So if you don't have land, like I said, buy at local farmers markets, buy directly from your farmers markets. Join a CSA. Do you know what a CSA program is? Community supported agriculture. It's where you pay the farmer a little bit of money. You're basically partnering with that farm. You're a superhero to that farm if you buy a CSA box from a farmer because you are joining their team. You are partnering with that farm. And yeah, buy a box and or sell a box. If you've got land right now, you are sitting on a gold mine. If you have an acre, 2 acres, 10 acres, 160 acres, 4,000 acres, you are the key to our food system. Grow what you can in the space you have, and then start your own farm to table business. That's how we're going to do this. The more we can buy from farmers now, as well as later, but the more we can do this and practice this program or practice, the more we can do this and practice what we preach now, the easier the transition is going to be later when shit hits the fan and the grocery stores run out of everything. I think grocery stores have 72 hours worth of food. And if things go crazy, you see the shelves run out instantly. So, whereas your farmer, they've still got a steady supply of tomatoes. They still got a steady supply of beef. They've got a still a steady supply of chicken. That's real food. And so join those farmers now or become a farmer yourself on a small scale. Like I said, I've done about 30 grand worth of sales off this small space this year. Maybe 25, something like that. But I've sold a lot of food to people this summer, and I teach people how to do that. So just do it. Don't hold back. Don't wait. Don't think, oh, maybe in the future. Start now. Now's the time to start. Are you sitting on a farm or homestead that could be making you real money? Tired of guessing on how to market your products? I owned a 36,000 square foot greenhouse. I ran 2 farm to table stores. I had 30 people on payroll. I brought in $2.5 million in gross revenue in 2020, selling farm goods directly to customers. Now I teach farmers and homesteaders how to make money and save money off the land they already have. Whether you're selling eggs, beef, produce, baked goods, or anything in between, if you want to get into direct marketing and grow your sales, I'm the girl for you. Stop leaving money on the table and start putting it into your bank account. Join me at Dawn's Dirt Business Coaching and let's make your farm pay you back. So if you're a farmer today and you're listening to the program, I want you to think about this question. Who will you choose to feed if shit hits the fan? How will you protect your farm? How will you protect your food? How will you decide who you will take under your care and who you won't? And what will you do if the grocery store shuts down? Because I'll tell you right now, the city people are all going to come out. They're going to be looking for the cows. They're going to be looking for the grains. So how can we do this? How can we in communities keep our communities safe from the millions of people that are unprepared, the millions of people that may be starving? What are you going to do to mitigate that? You can feed a lot of people. If you have a large cow herd, you can feed a lot of people. So how will you do this? How will you start this process now? How will you build your communities now? Because the other thing, farmers, is it comes back to you as well. When I thought to myself, I will have people out to my farm, I was also thinking an army. If people came out to my farm, I could feed them, but they are also my army, and they would protect our farm then. People need each other. As much as we think we don't, people need one another, especially in a crisis. And so farmers, what are you doing to prepare your farm in case, hopefully I'm wrong, World War III breaks out, shit hits the fan? How will you protect your farm and your food? What kind of person will you be? That's another question. What kind of person will you be if digital IDs hit the fan? If, you can't buy, sell, trade, will you feed someone that's hungry? One thing I can't do is I can't walk past someone holding a sign in any town, city, or any place I've ever been. If someone is asking for food, I cannot walk past them without helping them. Now, I don't just give them money because I'm just being a little judgy there, but I'm not sure that the money will buy them food. But I've bought food for lots of people. If someone's hungry, feed them. That's a biblical command, even. Like, someone saying that they're hungry, give them food. So we need to be prepared for these things. What type of person are you going to be? What kind of ethics are you going to have if shit hits the fan and you have food and someone else doesn't? I mean, that's why it breaks my heart that I won't have enough food for people, because I just don't have it right now. I don't have it right now. Having said that, I do have a lot of seed banked, and I could build an army real quick to feed, but don't come to my house, because in the immediate aftermath, I don't have enough food. Maybe a year later we can grow some stuff, but I don't have it now. So the biggest takeaway from this podcast today is don't outsource your survival. You need to take your survival and your preparedness into your own hands and into your own community. You need to know who is your ally, who is your enemy, and how will you survive, you know, big things that are out of our control. If it gets too big, I mean, we're going to just all be in trouble. But in the interim, when the grocery stores are just shutting down, when, things are just starting to go sideways, what are you going to do and how are you going to eat? Think about that. How are you going to be prepared? I know this podcast is a little bit of doom and gloom, but I'm here to just tell the truth. Like, these are things that I've thought about for a very long time, and they're important. Little boy that cried wolf. I don't want to be the one who warned and warned and warned and then was ignored. The wolf finally showed up. My hope is that you take action before that day comes. Just be prepared and reach out. I can help you now. I can help you lots now. I can give you ideas. We can tic-tac-tician together. We can build you a business so that you can be one of the ones feeding people and choosing who you're going to feed and who's in your community. I can easily help you with that. I can help you grow a garden in your backyard. I can help you with microgreens. Just reach out. Put something in the comments. Send me a DM. Let's do this together, and let's take our food system back into our own hands. We, the people, have the power. We just got to take it, and we got to be proactive, not reactive now. Thanks so much for listening today. A little bit of a heavy topic, but yeah, I was crying last night. This was on my heart, so I thought I'll just throw a podcast out there about it. So thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being on the John Stewart team. And please let me help you.